For a die-hard Fallout fan like myself who has played every game multiple times, nothing made me more excited than the announcement of Fallout London. Just the idea of a Fallout game taking place somewhere else other than America was a dream of mine. And I think that just putting it in London, putting it in England, was probably the best spot they could have made it. I would have accepted a Fallout game in either England or China, probably, since those are two very important countries in the lore of Fallout. But Fallout London has been one of the most thrilling games I've played all year, and even though it's a mod, it feels like something that was officially made by Bethesda. And Fallout 5 is not coming out for a long time, and Elder Scrolls 6 is actually in production right now too. So we're not getting another Fallout official game for a long time. I just hope that people keep making mods like Fallout London so then we can just have new Fallout experiences and just have lots more fun with this beloved franchise. But let's get into why Fallout London is such a great game. Fallout London officially came out on July 25th, 2024. And like myself, it was met with a bunch of great reviews. I personally enjoyed it from the very beginning of the game because it just felt so different. And yeah, the beginning took a little bit to get through, but once again, it's just like Fallout 4. Once you get past the beginning sequence, all hell breaks loose. Had to replay actually the first 3 hours yesterday, and from what I can remember, really good. The comparison to Internal seems pretty well. I mean, you can still feel the bones of the original game, but the mod has its own distinct identity. And in terms of the vibes, it feels much more Fallout than anything Bethesda has ever put out. It leans more into survival, and the tone is both more bleak and interesting in terms of, I wonder where they go with this. Quality-wise, I was really impressed with the voice acting. And for someone who's never left his own house, it feels very London-y to me. I mean, it is a Fallout game, so of course there's gonna be some jank. I mean, such as having to spam skip the intro movie because it froze 3 seconds in, but overall, it's not more janky than Fallout 4, and I've never played with a single crash, by the way. I see a bunch of people saying this game crashes. It has never done it for me. Promotional blurbs describe Fallout London as an ambitious DLC-sized mod which brings it with a certain set of expectations. Past official DLCs can take anywhere from 3 to 10 hours to complete, plus or minus a few depending on your speed running prowess or your commitment to completionism. I can't remember what it's called, but the one from New Vegas, I'm looking at you! The length of DLCs has typically gotten longer as the franchise has evolved. Fallout 4's Nuka World was one of the longest add-ons in the entire series. However, those include a bunch of side quests and factions and even integration of the base game settlement building system. So when I heard about Fallout London's development a few years ago, my expectations were not that high. All I was really expecting was a couple hours of gameplay in a new world space, some unique weapons, a bit of sightseeing, and then it's pretty much the same song and dance as usual. I was wrong. Way wrong. Fallout London is not just a DLC-sized mod, it's a whole new game. Folon runs as a completely standalone experience, wherein the Fallout 4 base game and story are out of sight, out of mind. Its setting and lore are completely new, yet immediately familiar to veterans of the franchise. Fallout is a very particular song and dance. We know the effects of post-apocalyptic life on communities and factions. We know how people steal and shoot and slaughter in the wasteland. We know that there are some big, scary, mutated monsters down that unassuming manhole cover, and we know that we probably shouldn't trust the sidekick on the street corner who is asking for chems in exchange for telling our future. But more than all that, we know America! Vault-Tec and the Brotherhood have been at the foundation of our journey since 1997. As such, Fallout London provides even the most seasoned player with a radically different environment to explore. A world where even the little green vault loading symbol is replaced by a British underground sign. In this new world, we are exposed to plenty of faithfully written lore with all the bells and whistles to boot. London is populated and lived in and as endlessly explorable as Vegas and Baston were. New settlements await around every corner, all with charming residents eager to send you through the narrow streets on your next side quest. There are fully unique guns, sets of armor, and collectibles tucked into the crevices of the city. At the same time, there are little references and design features that remind us of the wasteland across the irradiated pond. Many of New Vegas' elements, such as the perk screen and dialogue system, return, seamlessly retrofitted to work within Fallout 4's engine. Even Fallout 3 gets a callback through a particularly explosive quest. When it comes to discussing the canon of Fallout games, I would struggle to lump this in as just another Fallout DLC. Fallout London is very distinctly not Fallout 4, and I think to view it as such is a disservice to the monumental undertakings of Team Folon. Even through length of its gameplay alone, this adventure through London earns a respectable place among the other titles. This is truly its own game, and a bloody good one at that. Now, I cannot speak to the issues that many people are having with frequent crashes and bug quests. Release day is difficult, even for AAA studios, much less an independent group of modders. But at the end of the day, I chalk it up to the fact that Fallout was built on an already notoriously volatile engine. Kinks are to be expected, but past that, Fallout London establishes a world outside of our own with such attention to detail that you might even forget that this is all a fan-made game. The sheer magnitude of what this project accomplishes warrants my patience with its development. Now, Fallout London is a masterwork of the modding community. It is worth the wait and captures the essence of the Fallout franchise with grace and skill, all neatly packed under a new flag. If you want a fresh and faithful Fallout experience, this is it. Fallout London was easily the boldest modding project in existence. I haven't even mentioned everything that I wanted to get to in this game. Fallout London does not play on parlor tricks and quirks to sell its world, or its functionally sound guns for that matter. Now, I'm not implying that it lacks those zany, out there moments that make Fallout what it is. The biggest crutch in this regard is the factions, which are even more interesting than New Vegas' Roman Legion LARPers. After you beat up some average English hooligans for a few hours, you run into some goofy factions. The henchmen so far were standard Peaky Blinders street gangs, but the Jacktar is where things get interesting. These are privateers turned cults, and they drag entire ships into the middle of their bases to make a fortress out of them. Reminds me of the USS Constitution in Fallout 4. But I also want to ask the question, does the Fallout London combat do anything differently? The core of the gameplay loop remains the same as Fallout 4. The difficulty curve is more unforgiving early on though. It is similar to the J. Sawyer mod for New Vegas or Requiem for Skyrim, but not as hardcore or complex. Because of this, it incentivizes VATS more in the tense moments and makes it just more enjoyable overall. The bells and whistles are also lifted out of Fallout 4, loot stuff off of recently slain enemies, then mod out the war spoil and workbenches. There are various materials and objects that you can break down into raw materials and utilize crafting to prepare for a tough dungeon dive. There's so much more I could talk about in this game, like how it ditches the Vault Boy and other in-world Americanisms to instead add British counterparts like the Attaboy. Overall, Fallout London is everything that Bethesda shies away from. So, is Fallout London good? Yes. Fallout London is a masterclass in what made the classic Fallout games tick and why Fallout New Vegas is considered an RPG classic. Overall, from the voice acting to the just overall grind aspect to the game, it just feels like Fallout 4, but just with a new coat of paint put on it. And after everything that has happened with the Fallout community, from the TV show to the passing away of Mitten Squad, I think that this is just the absolute perfect way to really put in a brand new just sense of life to the Fallout franchise. And again, I know that Fallout 5 is not coming out for a very long time. We might have to wait until the end of this decade before we even get any information about Fallout 5. But until then, let us hope that Fallout London is a signal that future Fallout mods will be this massive and will signify greater things to come into the future. This has been my Fallout London review. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.